Yo, what's going on, everybody? Just straight out of Boston here, aka the King of Boston. Today we're back for episode 24 of my Indiana Pacers MyLeague. We're going to be a 2K15. And today we are simulating up to our final regular season episode. So we get to the trade deadline. I'm going to make a couple final moves. We're going to trade Udonis Haslem, Luis Scola, and a second round pick for Nene. So hopefully Nene can take up a lot of those big men bench minutes that have been lacking since we had to move Oubre to the starting lineup. We're also going to sign Kirk Heinrich because that will have to do with our next move, which we're going to make. And it's going to be Mo Williams and Mike Miller for Paul Pierce, and I think we throw in another second round pick as well. So we reshaped the bench a little bit. I talked about it in the last episode. Our bench was so bad defensively, I had to switch things up. Nene's at least a little bit tougher defensively. Same thing with Paul Pierce. Pierce is extremely slow, but hopefully he won't get killed on the perimeter. And then we have Kirk Heinrich, who's a bit stingier than Mo Williams. So anyway, we lose to the Hornets again. I always like to keep an eye on those matchups, but you can see guys go down here a little bit, just day-to-day injuries, get a little banged up, but we start picking it up here as we get into March. You can see we've won 3 in a row, make it 4 in a row, and you can see here we are pretty much locked into the 3 seed with 12 games left, 6.5 back of the 1, 6 back of the 2, and 6 up on the 4, so we're pretty locked into this 3 seed. The question now is just closing out the regular season strong and, you know, trying to pick up some momentum. And look, I just realized the last meeting between when we played the Wizards, we won 68-62. So that's kind of a testament to how good our defense has been all year. But anyway, we're 52-18 right now, so we have certainly rebounded from the DeAndre injury. We were 29-5 when he got hurt. Since then, we are 29-13, which is obviously not quite as great, but still, it's pretty solid for a team that lost its starting center and had to replace him by trading its starting power forward. So anyway, we're taking on the Washington Wizards, and John Wall went off this game. But other than that, this Wizards team was none too impressive. No Bradley Beal, no Nene. I think Marcin Gortat really had a quiet day. Otto Porter did some things, but this is really not a great team surrounded from John Wall. But John Wall himself was dominant this game. He dropped 17 in the first quarter and finished off the game with 43 points himself. Now it's a 13-9 game. Washington up right now with John Wall. Got the ball on the perimeter, trying to take a double screen, go around it, ends up going to the hoop and slamming it down with one hand. John Wall is someone I would love to get on the team at some point, but I think we're pretty set with Mudia. But John Wall plays such a fun game in 2K. Anyway, a nice pick and roll with Marc Gasol, and Marc Gasol ends up with a pretty big game today. You'll see he ran a lot of pick and rolls. We really exploited some of the weakness defensively down low for the Wizards. Gasol really had a field day. And it's 25-19 here, still in the first quarter. Here's John Wall with the ball picked up by Mudiay. And I had Butler on him for a lot of this game. I tried to put it on him for the first quarter. Doesn't seem like it worked all the time because Mudiay still picked him up a couple times. But I put Mudiay back on Wall like at halftime. So sort of switching up between the two. Here's Kelly Oubre in the post hitting the hook shot. And this is another team I can easily get away with putting Oubre at the 4. Last time we played Mason Plumlee in the Nets. And Plumlee's not going to, like, you know, back Oubre down and you know, score a bunch of post moves on Kelly Oubre. The only thing Plumlee could really do to hurt us was rebound a lot, but even then we were still, I think we out-rebounded the Nets last game. In this game, we really don't have to worry about it. Their bigs are pretty small and not very good, so Oubre can get away with playing at the 4, no problem. I don't think we'll have too many problems with that, but the way Nene played today, I would consider starting Nene and bringing Oubre off the bench if we had a bad matchup like that, because Nene played pretty well, and bringing Oubre off the bench would really help our second unit scoring, but it was really helped out by Paul Pierce today, who hit a 3 just a moment ago. He ended up finishing at 12 points on 4 3-pointers tonight. You will see that, but Kelly Oubre with the ball, bringing it up the court. He actually gives this to George. I thought about lobbing that one, but instead I just give it to George, and he actually hits the mid-range jumper. So we go back up by 2. Now we take the lead, and hopefully we will not look back right now. 38-36. Mudiay to the hoop. Gets the layup over the double coverage. We go up by 4. Now it's a 7-point game after a 3-pointer. 43-36. Wall with the ball. This time he's picked up by Butler, as you can see. But Butler just not quick enough to cover John Wall in this game. Butler, you know, he's pretty athletic in real life, but he's not very quick. At least not in 2K. So he sort of struggles with the lateral movements that John Wall can do sometimes. And that's why it's a bit of a bad matchup. But anyway, 44-43. We're going to try to get this one to Kelly Oubre. We finally do. He's going to pump and then end up taking 2 dribbles in and hit the jumper off the glass. We retake the lead. Now it's 47-46. Gerald Henderson is a new addition to this team. He obviously came over from the Wizards. Or not the... What am I saying? He came over from the Hornets. and he actually was a pretty nice addition to this team. He was pretty lethal off the bench. I definitely knew when he was in the game. I had to be aware. But here's Pierce again in the corner for 3, and I know he's wearing number 4. I got to switch that to 34, but anyway, Pierce again at the buzzer, and he gets it to go. So 9 points in the first half for Paul Pierce. He is feeling it, and we head into the half with a 54-50 lead on the back of Paul Pierce's late 3-pointers. So a good start to the game so far. Our offense is really clicking, and our defense was not very good in the first quarter, but in the second quarter really stepped it up. I think we allowed like 25 points in the first 7 minutes of the game or something like that, and then since then have only allowed 25 in the last quarter and a half, which is very, very good. So anyway, John Wall, like I said, he had 17 in the first quarter, ended up with 6 in the second. That totals 23 at the half. He also had 5 assists. As you can see, he is on his way to a very fine game, but 54-50 now. Here is Wall with the ball, pulling up. He will end up missing that, but Gortat's there for the rebound. That's no good, but Wall again, and he gets the and 1 this time, so the lead's back down to 1. Nene to Moutier for 3. That is no good, but Gasol's there on the rebound, and Gasol puts it up and gets an and 1 of his own. Marc Gasol now heating up, and Marc Gasol would really step it up in the third quarter, you will see. But here's Moutier for 3. No good. Gasol again, and this time the putback, no foul, but he gets it to go either way. 67-61 now. John Wall with the ball picked up by Moutier. You can see we made that halftime adjustment, putting Moutier back on Wall. And he really didn't fare any better, quite honestly, but it's alright. We sort of let John Wall kill us this game and contained everyone else, and that, you know, for the most part worked. I don't think Wall really killed us too much. Or I would say Wall, you know, he hurt us, but it's not like their offense was producing at a huge output in the second half, so I think our defensive game plan against them worked pretty well. Anyway, here's George with the ball. He actually catches a fadeaway there, so it's 74-67 now. Oubre with the ball gets the rebound. He's going to end up dribbling it up himself, taking it all the way to the hoop. Two-handed slam, and we're up by 9 right now. Jimmy Butler with the ball. Tried to get that one down to Moutier, but it's picked off by Gerald Henderson up to John Wall. Wall through the middle of the court, trying to drive middle. He ends up pulling up at the elbow and knocks down the jumper. 78-73. Here is their backup point guard, Qualls. I think he's a rookie. Gets it down to Martell Webster for the 2. Now it's a 3-point game once again. The Wizards trying to make a comeback here, but Pierce with the ball, running a little screen and pop, and it's going to be Nene for the jumper against his former team, and Nene knocks it down. I guess Paul Pierce's former team was the Wizards as well, but 82-77. Here is Brandon Davies with the jumper. Yes, that's the Brandon Davies from the Philadelphia 76ers, who's apparently been saved and signed by the Wizards here. And Webster to the hoop. He ends up missing, but Gortat's there. Gortat, no good. Great defense by the Pacers. Gasol on the rebound. Up to Tyus Jones. Jones tried to go all the way to the hoop. Back to Pierce to Gasol. Back to Pierce for 3. He got it to go. What ball movement by the Pacers. Great defense on one end, better ball movement on the other. Pierce fadeaway, that's no good, but George is there on the rebound, and that's no good. He got hit there on the arm, looked like a foul, but on the other end, you can see Webster's going to drive to the hoop. This is not Martha Webster, by the way. This is another Webster, but he gets killed down there, and they don't call it. So the refs are letting him play here in the fourth quarter. 1-point game. Gasol back to Tyus Jones. Jones down low to Pierce. Pierce puts it up, puts it in. He's got 14 points on the evening. Now 89-84, we're up by 5. Pick and pop sort of with Oubre. Oubre back to Butler to Oubre. Now he's going to pump and try to drive. Pulls up. Back to George. Top of the key. Pumps. Pulls up. And gets it to go. Great play by Paul George to hit the shot at the end of the shot clock. Now we're up by 7 with 2:50 to play. Bounce pass to Gortat on the break. And Gortat to the hoop knocks that down. So it's a 5-point game once again. Wizards hanging around now. It's a 4-point game. And here is Paul George with the ball. Looking for the screen from Gasol. Beautiful pick and roll. Beautiful pass right there from George around the defender. Right into the hands of Gasol, who has the easy layup. 95-89 now. Wall with the ball again. Trying to get his team back in it. And John Wall is just too good. He just shakes Emmanuel Moutier right there. But it's still a 6-point game. Down low to Gortat. His shot, no good again. Phenomenal defense by Marc Gasol. Out to Paul George. George with the ball now on the break. He's going to find Kelly Oubre cutting back door. He slams it down. Now it's a 7-point game with 28 seconds to play. This one is just all but over. But take a look at this play. Oubre gets fouled hard here by Marcin Gortat. If I was Oubre, I certainly would not have been happy about that. I thought he would have maybe tried to retaliate or something, but we'll take a look at the replay, and you can see Gortat really just throws his arm, a little forearm shiver or something there. But this is something I had not seen in 2K before. Not only had I not seen this animation, but they call a flagrant 1. So we get 2 free throws and the ball. Now, I was listening to the broadcast when they were doing it. It was not a flagrant 2. They were talking about how Gortat stayed in the game. whereas if it was a flagrant 2, he would have been immediately ejected. But Oubre actually gets 2 free throws and the ball, and we would run the clock out from there. But that is something I had never seen in 2K before. I thought that was pretty interesting. I figured I'd throw that in the video. But we come away with a 102-93 victory, and you can see there we hold them to 93 points, which at the end of the day, after giving them 25 points in the first 7 minutes, is pretty darn phenomenal. So anyway, you can take a look at the team scores here. We actually ended up shooting 10 less shots than them, which is something I always try to keep up with. Like, I never want them shooting more shots, because then they'll make more shots and score more points. It's sort of obvious, but we only had 5 turnovers. The thing was, they had like 15 offensive rebounds or something, but Gasol was definitely the player of the game for us. He only played 29 minutes, but he had 20 and 13, played phenomenal defense, an efficient 20, and those 13 rebounds were very important as well. John Wall, though, 42 points. He probably gets the player of the game, actually. He did it on 30 shots as well, so he was pretty darn good. But anyway, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you did enjoy. And doesn't out. Peace.